Fungus. So our topic today is fungus. In fungus, all the fungus are not microorganisms. There are certain fungus called yeast. These are unicellular fungus. Remaining all fungus like mushrooms, bread molds, white rust, all these are visible to our naked eye. They are all multicellular organisms. Multicellular. So these are not microscopic. This is microscopic. Right? Yeast is a unicellular organism. Okay? Yeast scientific name is Saccharomyces. So if you see the structure of yeast, yeast has a round structure. Cell wall is it has a cell wall outside that is made up of chitin, nucleus, cytoplasm is there, which has so many granules. So it has a granular cytoplasm, and in this you can see there are some uh, fat globules and glycogen also. You can see some glycogen particles also. Glycogen is a combination of glucose molecules. Glucose molecules chain is called as glycogen. Okay? So those all things are present in yeast. Yeast never lives individually. It always lives in colonies. So if you see the structure, the cell walls, outside cell walls are found attached and they form colonies like this. They are found in colonies. So each one is one cell. Each one is one cell. Each one is one individual. Each one is one individual. Each one. Sir, కొంచెం ఆ డోర్ క్లోజ్ చేయరా నారాజ్ సార్ ఆ డోర్ క్లోజ్ చేయరా వెహికల్ సౌండ్ బాగా వస్తుంది So this is one individual, this is one individual, but they live together. So this type of if animals prefer to live together, this is called as colony. This is a colonial organism. Okay. So when you observe the structure of other fungus, it's a different structure. You take the structure of mushrooms. If you observe the structure of mushrooms, mushrooms have one head-like structure and one stem-like structure. Okay, this is the general structure of mushrooms. Other mycelium, you take any kind of mold, remaining all are mold-like structure in which they have a head-like structure and hyphae. This is called as sporangium and this is called as hyphae. This hyphae are not individual. This hyphae are not individual, but usually there are so many hyphae that extend. So many hyphae, they form network-like structure. If you observe, they form a network-like structure. This all, everything, totally, this all network-like hyphae is called as mycelium. Okay, mycelium is a network of hyphae. So when this type of fungus are called as molds. Okay. When this fungus grows, it grows like a small hyphae and they are hyphae that are formed on the lower side for anchorage, like roots. Okay, anchorage means to hold something firmly. For anchoring, this roots are there. Root like hyphae are there. Okay, this hyphae will grow into the substratum where it is growing, and it gives anchorage. And when this stem is growing, it grows, and finally the sporangium is formed. When the sporangium is formed, initially it's very small, gradually it grows in size, again it grows in size, and finally the sporangium is completely grown. Okay, 1 minute, children. So the sporangium is completely grown like this. So when this is completed, another mycelium will start growing. Another mycelium will start growing like this. This complete mesh-like structure. When you observe the, okay, I'll write. I'll rub and I'll write again. So when fungus mold structure is formed, how it forms is a small hyphae will be formed, and for anchoring there are some hyphae that are formed on the lower side into the substratum. Okay, if it is blur, I'll upload the video, ma. So this hyphae that is growing on the top will slowly grow, develop one small sporangium. This sporangium will slowly grow its size, and this is the what do you say, mycelium that is formed. So from so many branches will be forming. There are so many hyphae that are running that side, this side. It completely forms a mesh-like structure to form the complete fungus. Okay, so that structurally these are different. If you see the internal structure of these cells, each of these cell has each of these cell has chitin outer wall that is made up of cell wall that is made up of chitin, and the inner cytoplasm is present, which is having granular. Inside this, sometimes there is single nucleus, sometimes more than one nuclei is found. When it is having say, more than one nuclei, when this usually, if you take one mycelium like this is one cell. This is one cell. This is one cell. Usually, if it is like this, here one nucleus, here one nucleus, here one nucleus. But if this wall is not present in between, the wall is not present in between, this type of fungus will have one, two, three nucleus. Okay. So this type of fungus are said to be multinucleated. Multinucleated. This type of fungus, which do not have wall between, the cell wall is absent between the cell membrane is absent between the cell. This type of fungus are called as cenocytic fungus. They are called as cenocytic fungus. At that time, that multinuclei are present. More than one nuclei are present in cenocytic fungus. Okay, that is about the structure. Next, we'll see how it obtains its nutrition. Nutrition in fungi, nutrition in fungus is three types. First one, saprophytic nutrition. saprophytic nutrition. Second one, parasitic nutrition. Third one, symbiotic nutrition. You take the saprophytic nutrition. This is the hyphae that is present. These are the walls, chitinous walls, and there are some gaps in this chitin walls. So till here it is one cell. Let us assume this is one cell. There is some gap in the wall. This is the second cell. Here there is again gap. Here there is gap. This is the third cell. Is having gap like this. So usually this hyphae grows in any bread mold or fruit or vegetable, something like that. This is a bread. Let us assume this is a bread. In this hyphae has grown. So this is only a part of bread. In this hyphae is grown. Okay. What it will do? These enzymes that are present inside this body will be released outside. Enzymes are the substances which can break down the food material. So here already food material are present, glucose, bread is made up of glucose. So this glucose filled bread is digested because of this enzyme action and it will be converted into, here starch is present. Starch is broken down into glucose. Okay. Generally, bread is made up of any wheat. Wheat is having starch in it. That starch is slowly broken down by glucose and broken down into glucose. This glucose, which is completely digested, will be taken back into the cells. Okay. So this type of nutrition in which there is release of enzymes, digestion of nutrients outside and reabsorption of digested nutrients is called as saprophytic nutrition. Okay, ma? Okay, we'll wait for 2 minutes. Right? And so this type of nutrition is called as saprophytic nutrition. Next, parasitic nutrition means organism live in the other organism's body and they cause diseases, cause harm to that organism. So there are some of parasitic fungus like you can take the example of skin infection like ringworm is caused by fungus. And you take the dandruff on your scalp, it is also formed by fungus. So in this way, they live in other organisms' body and they cause diseases. Okay. So these are parasitic fungus. Next, symbiotic. Symbiotic fungus. Example for symbiotic fungus is lichens. What is lichens? When an algae is growing in any water body, a fungus will attack that algal colony and they live together. Algae do not have roots. It does not have root-like structures to absorb nutrients. So what the fungus does, it supplies nutrients to this algae. Okay. So fungus have this type of mycelium which can penetrate to deep soil also. So they absorb the nutrients that they supply to algae. And fungus cannot make its own food. Algae can make its own food. So it will supply food to the fungus. In this way, they are helping each other and they are living together. This type of relation is called as symbiotic relation. That is about nutrition in fungus. How the fungus reproduces. Reproduction in fungus. For example, if you take not nutrition, reproduction. Reproduction in fungus, you take the unicellular yeast. It undergoes reproduction by formation of small buds. This is a yeast. It grows a small bud. This bud will grow in size. Slowly, nucleus is formed inside this. It grows into an individual cell. But still, it prefers to live in colonies, so it will not separate from the parent. Again, bud will develop. It grows in size. It develops a nucleus. A complete organism is formed. This type of reproduction is called as budding. Apart from budding, binary fission is also seen in yeast. Binary fission is also seen in yeast. And a third type of these two are asexual methods. Okay. These two are asexual methods of reproduction. There is another method called conjugation in fungus, which is a sexual method of reproduction in which there is exchange of genetic material between one cell and another cell. You take other multicellular fungus. Multicellular fungus generally form spores. These spores are usually present in the sporangium. Okay, inside this so many sporangium are present. When the sporangium wall burst open, all the fungal spores will come out. Each one spore falls on any substratum. When it fall on any substratum, substratum means any surface. Okay, when it falls on any substratum, a surface that can help it in formation of roots. So again the mycelium will grow and fungus will grow on this. Okay, this is one type of reproduction that is seen. And there are some sexual spores that are sexual also. Sexual reproduction like different formation of different conidiospores. There are certain ways of sexual reproduction also in this by gamete formation, etc. And we can also see that fragmentation. We can see fragmentation also. Fragmentation means when this mycelium of this fungus, the mycelium fall on any other new surface, again they grow into a complete fungus. Okay. If suppose fungus is growing on any fruit or vegetable, if you take some amount of fungus and grow it in some another place, then that is also that on that fruit also that fungus will grow. Some filaments you need to take it and pass it to another substratum. For growth, fungus needs moisture, any substratum. Substratum should be organic. Okay, this is the basic requirement for the fungus to grow. Moisture should be there for growth. Substratum means any surface on which the fungus can grow. It should be organic. From this only it is obtaining nutrients. So it can be any fruit, a bread, rice, anything like that. Even pickles also. Pickles also you can see there is a growth of fungus. So it can be any organic surface. Pickle means it is obtained from chili powder. That chili powder is an organic. It's obtained from a plant product. It is again having organic substances in that. So it can be any organic surface can act as a substratum if it is provided with little bit of moisture, then fungus will grow. So that is why over the pickles oil is added. Why? Oil prevents the contact of moisture. So when your mother is making pickle, some amount of oil floats. This is a pickle's oil float. Why? In air always moisture is present. This moisture should not come in contact with this pickle. If it comes in contact, your organic material is already present. So easily the pickle may catch fungal infection. Okay. So that is about the reproduction of fungus. Fungus has wide uses. So many uses. It can be used as food material. Uses of fungus. Uses of fungus. First, it can be used as food. For example, if you take yeast, yeast is a very good source of vitamin B, vitamin B, and dried yeast has 50% of protein. And you know very well mushroom. Mushroom consists of 21 to 30% of proteins. It has very less carbohydrates and fats are very less. So it is a very good source of food. But there are some poisonous mushrooms. Poisonous mushrooms. They can be harmful to health. Usually white button mushroom. White button mushroom means white button mushroom is generally used as food. Okay, it's generally the white button mushroom is generally used as food. Okay, so you should not eat all mushrooms because there are some wild mushrooms which are harmful. Usually, you know about toadstools. These toadstools are the colorful mushrooms which are look like this. They are all poisonous. But it doesn't mean that only toadstools are poisonous. There are other mushrooms also that are poisonous. So whenever you go into some areas where there is so many, if there are any wild mushrooms growing in that areas, you should not just simply pick it. You should be careful before picking the mushrooms because sometimes they can be poisonous. Wild mushrooms, which is poisonous, which is not poisonous, we cannot understand easily. So generally, we should not pluck every mushroom that we see. Even if you touch any mushroom, wash your hands before you eat something thoroughly. Okay, so that can be poisonous. Okay, white button mushroom. The scientific name is Agaricus bisporus. So this is Agaricus bisporus. Is the name of white button mushroom. Scientific name of white button mushroom. Okay. This mushrooms, white button mushrooms can be grown very easily also. Some soil should be taken. Some amount of organic material should be added in that. Any organic material like it can be straw, it can be whatever peels that generate from the house, they can be used. And in that, some amount of this mushrooms, what do you say, mycelium of the mushroom should be taken and added to that. And within few days, it will grow. That can be cultivated and they can be used. Okay, so this is a use in foods. They are also used in making breads, making when the yeast wheat flour is added with yeast, it puffs up. You can see that wheat has sponges. The wheat is very sponges with so many holes inside. Why that holes are formed? The dough of wheat dough is taken, yeast is added, and left it overnight. What happens? Few hours, sometimes 5 to 6 hours, also no problem. Okay, even if it is overnight, also no problem. What will happen is the carbohydrates that are present in this dough will be converted into alcohol, and as a result, carbon dioxide is produced. This carbon dioxide tries to escape out of this dough. So it makes small holes. So you can see there are so many holes in the dough before you start making only. When this is completely turns into bread, so many holes are there present inside that bread. Okay. So not only in bread making, wine industry also, alcohol industry also uses this fungus. Saccharomyces Myces cerevisiae is a common fungus that is used in this wine making, alcohol making. It is a type of yeast. Not only in this industries of bread and alcohol, this yeast has other, fungus has other uses also. Like they are used for making medicine like penicillium, medicine like penicillin. Penicillin is obtained from the fungus Penicillium notatum. This Penicillium notatum is a fungus that is used to produce this antiseptic penicillin or Penicillium chrysogenum is also a type of fungus from which this penicillin is obtained. You can see some enzymes are also produced. Like small children or old children, the digestion is not proper. Yes, okay, right. When the digestion is not proper, they should be given some enzyme supplements. Usually, amylase is a supplement that is given, and zymase is a supplement that is given. Okay, these are obtained from fungus only. Amylase is obtained from Aspergillus oryzae, and zymase is obtained from Saccharomyces. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So not only in enzyme production, they can be used to add hormonal production also they are useful. Like for example, in plant hormones there is a hormone called like human hormones. There are plant hormones also. A hormone called gibberellin is present in plants. This gibberellin is obtained from a fungus. Its name is Gibberella fujikori. Not only this, these fungus are used in research also, in the field of research, like you can take Aspergillus, Saccharomyces to understand how the carbohydrate metabolism is there, to understand the genetics in the field of genetics, in the field of cell biology, and different ways this fungus are used. Okay, it also makes soil fertile. How soil is made fertile? For example, if you take pinus is a plant, it is making symbiotic association with a type of fungus called mycorrhiza. Mycorrhizae absorbs the nutrients from deeper layers of soil and supplies it to pinus plants. So in this way, it helps in plant growth. Not only that, plants, what do you say, uh, fungus helps in degradation of degrades organic matter. So whatever dead organic matter that is present in soil like leaf waste, insects waste, worms, all these will be completely degraded and added back to the soil. So when they are degraded, all the nutrients that are present in those organisms' body will enter into the soil, makes the soil fertile. On that, if you grow any plant, the plant grows very well, right? So these are some of the uses that we find in the fungus that we can different ways by which we can use the fungus, right? So with this we have completed the fungus.